Hey guys, Max here for Rev3 Games, and I'm with Brian Wheeler, who is the lead PvP designer for The Elder Scrolls Online, which is a game in which the Elder Scrolls are online.
That's right.
And this is a thing that people have been kind of asking for a while. Some of them don't want it, but some of them are excited about it. And I don't think anyone was really fully expecting an MMO. I talked to you at E3 last year, and when we saw you at E3, you guys just kind of had like sort of a sizzle reel. You had like a PowerPoint, and you talked about the PvP a little bit, which is obviously like a really big component of an MMO. And that was, you guys were like, well, we have some battles with like 100 people in them, and that's exciting. But it was just some people running around. What you showed us this time around, I really hope we have footage to go with this, but you've got like sieges. You've got like the entirety of Cyrodil, like the sort of central continent is the PvP area. You tell me about this. This is I'm terrible at this. I should ask you questions.
We took basically the center portion of Cyrodil and have it split in between the three alliances because the Imperials have kind of withdrawn into Imperial City because Molag Bal is pretty much trying to take over that portion of it. That goes along with the main story, but that leaves it rife for the other three alliances to charge in there and fight each other. They're like, well, we want to take Imperial City now too. So you fight each other over keeps, over various resources that support the keeps, and a lot of the towns that are in Oblivion are actually still in this game as well. It's 700 or so years in the past, but Coral, Cheydinhal, Bruma, these are all towns that exist in there as well. So there's not only PvP, but there's also a good little PvE story scattered throughout it as well.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Give us a sense of the scale. Like how big are we talking here?
To go from keep to keep, it's roughly like on a mount, somewhere around 60 to 70 some seconds to go from keep to keep. The little resources that are sitting around supporting it, that takes a little bit quicker to get to. Now that is variable depending upon terrain, height, cliffs, and things like that. But the overall size of an area, it's something like 9 times the size of a regular zone that you come across in, let's say, the Daggerfall Covenant. So it's a very, very big space. We did take the height map that was from Oblivion and pretty much took that, scaled it up a little bit because we're third person, and then said, all right, we're going to make this a PvP zone. And it's perfect because Oblivion had like old ruined down forts, old broken down towers, and those are perfect for saying in our timeline, these are fully fledged.
This is the origin story of those forts
of those
stuff.
ruins that you see in Oblivion. You're fighting over and defending them in our game.
Yeah, and these can take damage. There's like you can break down walls and stuff.
Yep, there's several main keeps per alliance, and then each of them will have a wall around them. Pretty much all the walls can be broken down, and there's obviously a door on the outer wall that can be broke through with a ram. You can also use trebuchets and ballista to fire at it too, but obviously the ram is the best to do that. Then when you get inside, there's another keep to crack into as well, and then when you take that over, then you actually own it for your alliance. And if you have a chain of those keeps, you can teleport between them. So that space that we were talking about in terms of that runtime, you can actually cross it real fast with the transit network.
Okay.
And that makes it real fun for like going behind enemy territory.
Are the different sort of territories, are they can they be taken over by an alliance, and really it's like a big game of Risk kind of? Or?
It's a very huge game of that. There isn't necessarily like a block that says this whole block is one alliance, but you kind of get the idea of this keep is Aldmeri, therefore you probably shouldn't get too close to it because there's guards patrolling in the area, and you'll get killed if you're just roaming around by yourself. So there is a sense of ownership that we give you. There are sets of keeps per territory that are defaultly yours. So it's kind of the sense of, well, that's mine. I don't want those guys to have it. So we kind of give you an alliance set of keeps in Cyrodil to start.
And I love that all this is exciting when you imagine it being sort of 2 factions, but this has got 3 factions, which adds an entirely another dimension to it.
A huge thing to it, yeah. If you see 2 sides going at it at a keep, and you're the third side, we've seen in tests where people sit back and go, let's wait till they kill one side is kind of wiped out, and then let's run in and bulldoze them both and take over the keep.
Oh, wow.
There's been tons of situations where 2 sides have gone on it, and a third side has joined in to help one side or another instead of picking the bones from a fight. So there's just tons of possibilities that occur with the third realm.
Okay, what about, how do you scale it with kind of by a person's
the different levels?
Yeah.
When you come into PvP, you'll get scaled up to basically a level 50 stats. Basically your hit points, stamina, and magicka will get scaled up.
Okay.
And there's some numbers under the hood too that handle basically how hard your weapon hits, how hard your spells hit, and we bump that stuff up as well, so you're competitive. Now that to be said, we don't want to take anything away from the 50s. So a level 10, we've done a lot of these tests too, where a 10 can fight a 50, and it's competitive. The 50 wins, but if you toss in a couple 10s, that level 50 character is going to start to fear for his life a little bit. I've personally gotten my butt kicked by 3 level 10s, if I remember correctly.
That's embarrassing. And you work here. You made the game.
But I also made that possible. So.
Well, that's cool. When are people going to get a chance to try this out for themselves?
We're looking at our beta schedule and trying to figure out when the best time is to get people in there. We want to make sure that we give you the best experience in PvP. So it's not just a matter of making sure that the siege weaponry has a proper damage, but also that all of our subsystems are working properly. So we're looking at the schedule, trying to figure out when that is. I can't unfortunately give you an exact date right now when that is, because we're still, we have these systems in development, and we don't want to put something out there where we find that this person managed to break down a wall in 2 seconds from some crazy thing that I didn't find.
So Brian, if there's maybe some place that's like a community-oriented event where people could possibly maybe get their hands on the PvP aspect of the Elder Scrolls Online, what event might that be?
Well, the PvP aspect they're not going to be able to play soon, but they will be able to play the PvE aspect at PAX East.
Okay. Well, you guys, obviously can stay tuned to the various news channels, such as Rev3 Games right here. Brian, thank you so much for talking.
Good to talk to you again.
Elder Scrolls Online looks rad. You guys should go back and watch our interview from E3 last year. I probably have different hair, and we had swords behind us instead of just a poster.
I still had this hair.
Take care, guys.